Got it.
Got it.
Cool.
Talk about whatever. We usually go around, introduce ourselves. I'm Tom.
I don't know what that's playing. All right, we live?
Think so.
Says so.
Are we live?
Think so.
Says so.
I can hear us though.
Yeah, I got a delay.
I can hear us.
Yeah, I got a delay.
I can hear us.
All right. Anyone watching? We're figuring shit out. Bear with us. Technical difficulties.
Is the echo me? I guess not.
All right. I have no clue.
All right. I have no clue.
I also don't know how to record.
I also don't know how to record. I also don't know how to record.
Nope. All right, this one's just live.
Nope. All right, this one's just live. Nope. All right,
Oh, we could just mute until we talk.
You guys getting that echo?
Mute until we talk.
Yes.
You guys getting that echo?
Oh, yes.
Hey, Simba. Kenichi, Simba says hi.
Hey, Simba.
Oh,
Simba says hi. Hello. Hi. Hello.
I don't know how to fix this. All right.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah, I would just mute until we could like press to talk or something. Yeah, I would just mute until we could like press to talk or something. You know? Like press to talk or something.
All right. I'll deal with an echo.
All right. I'll deal with an echo.
To anyone watching this still, welcome to Midnight All Day.
Welcome to Midnight All Day.
My name is Travis Brown, Grand Theft Motto on
Brown,
Reddit,
Grand Theft Motto on
Grand Thrust Motto on OnlyFans. And I go by the alt decorative gentleman.
I go by the alt decorative gentleman. I go by the alt
Yeah, that's annoying.
Does
Yeah,
the
well,
does
hey,
the
can-
audience hear the echo?
Yeah,
I
can
don't
you
know.
try to
Hey,
mute?
Simba, do you hear the audio? Do you hear this echo?
I don't know. Hey, Simba, do you hit the audio? Do you hit the echo?
Hey, Kenichi, mute real quick. Hey, Kenichi, mute real quick.
This never happens with Ryan.
Mute real quick. This never happened with Ryan. This never happened with Ryan. Never happened with Ryan. Never happened with Ryan.
All right, what about now? All right, what about now?
I still hear it.
Damn.
All right, what about now?
It's beautiful and weird hearing myself over and over and over again.
It's beautiful and weird hearing myself over and over and over again.
I'm hearing myself more, actually.
Over and over and over again. I'm hearing myself more, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I'm Travis Brown,
Like I said, I'm Travis Brown.
Grand Theft Motto. I'm actually Decorative Gentleman. And last week on the stream, we did an unboxing, which was very exciting because in my box, I discovered
Very exciting.
a Papa.
In my box.
So, Papa, why don't you introduce yourself, Jesse number one?
So, Papa, why don't you introduce yourself, Jesse number
Yeah,
one?
so I'm Jesse number one. We're gonna figure out this echo eventually in the stream, so it's pretty annoying, I know, but I go by Papa Mishka 89. And I'm just excited to be here with Try Hard and interview this. And you know, Ryan did say that whoever has the Twitch channel open in the browser needs to mute the tab. It could be creating an audio loop. So maybe Deco, maybe mute Twitch, perhaps. But I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for Tryhard Kenichi to be here. And I guess it goes to Jesse number 2 to announce himself.
Hello, I am Jesse number 2, Jesse Polans, and I write under A Hawaiian Shirt on Reddit. And that's me. Happy to have you here, Kenichi.
I'm happy to be here. Kenichi, and I write under Tryhard Kenichi on Reddit.
Yep, and we all know you and are always excited whenever you drop a short and scary story or a 2-sentence story, for sure. So what have you been working on lately, man?
Nothing much, to be honest. I've been gaming. I have a couple of stories started, but no real motivation to finish.
I feel that.
Yeah. So I've just been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Is it any good?
It's pretty good. I have like 30 hours into it.
Oh, shit. I have only been playing Rogue Legacy 2 now that it's out of beta, and that's fantastic.
So my question with you not finishing stories, are you starting stories?
Yes. So, I'll start them. I'll get sometimes, a couple of paragraphs in, sometimes a couple of pages in, and, I won't finish, or like I have a change of thought about the process, do a save as, start change stuff, and do that a couple of times and still don't finish.
Because I've been going through the exact same thing with my. I mean, I probably haven't posted in 20 days or so, and I've got a theory, and maybe you could help me bear this out. But my theory is it's transitioning from a lighter workload in terms of writing, like having an idea and then putting that into writing, and then transitioning that into a longer form of writing. Like, have you been trying to do more like no sleeps or short scary stories? Or
I've been trying to do longer stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, initially when I started and for like months after, there was a dopamine hit from posting, right?
For sure.
If that's what it is. And like I enjoyed it, but I guess it's not the same anymore.
Like a war off.
Yeah. And at the same time, now, when I get ideas, I think, well, should I really post this, or should I write it and submit it to something to monetize it? And then I want to do nothing with it.
It's that perfect is the enemy of good thing. Well, I mean, what about you guys? I feel like, Papa, you've been posting more recently probably than any of us. Guessing.
Well, yeah, I've been hitting up kind of the cryptic compendium more than anything. I did hit no sleep a little bit recently, but yeah, I've been trying to write longer stuff too. And I mean, I get it. What's cool is if like, so something I've done is, if I write something for like a narrator, once they actually post it and do their narration, then they're usually pretty cool about posting it to Reddit once they're done with it, and kind of what I've been doing a little bit of, which is pretty neat. But yeah, I guess, Deco, I didn't realize it's been 20 days since you've posted anything. I feel like I have seen your stuff so regularly, I didn't notice, but
That's a guess. I mean, I've done like poems on my sub, but in terms of like posting a no sleep or short scary, I've been a ghost for a while.
yeah. Well, well, for one, I want to see more from both of you guys for sure, but I think Pullins has been posting somewhat regularly. I mean, he just dropped like some big ones like that Black Swan on TCC, so, and No Sleep. So
I remember that one.
yeah.
Kind of, only because it falls in line with what I'm currently doing. The book I'm doing right now is exclusively my No Sleep catalog, plus a couple of exclusives. So I've just been posting those because they're written in the style of No Sleep. And it's actually been kind of taken forever. It's like averaging like a month per, because I did the Swan. I think the Swan was over a month ago, and the Black Unicorn was 2 weeks ago. And I'm actually done posting those for now because the last one I'm writing is an offline exclusive, and then I don't even know when I'm going to be posting another one next.
Yeah, man. So I'm kind of wondering, because like I know that me and Kenichi started doing a lot more 2-sentence horrors early on, and then sort of progressed. Like we went through the progress. Like I don't know about you, but for me, the natural progression was to go from like light to heavy and start doing longer and longer stuff over time. And I was like really thumping 2-sentence horror for a while. And I know Pullins, you posted a number of 2-sentence horrors.
Oh,
But,
me?
yeah.
Awful. All awful.
Dude, I don't know how you guys do that, because I suck at those, man, honestly.
I think my magic is gone. And if I had to do it regularly, I would pay Kenichi to write 2-sentence horror, because mine is garbage. Garbage.
Mine haven't fared well. I actually left the sub.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, close to 2 months.
I posted one like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, this isn't good, but I'm just going to put it out there. And then it didn't do anything. And I was like, why do I even do this anymore?
So, I mean, what do you guys think is the, I mean, because we all write on different platforms. We all write on at least 2 of the major Reddit platforms. What's the, do you guys, like, what's the benefit of writing on short scary stories versus 2-sentence versus No Sleep? Like, other than the length, what kind of stories do you get? What kind of enjoyment do you get out of the constraint, that kind of thing? I mean, I'll say myself, like 2-sentence horrors, it's such an exercise in like getting a twist out as quickly as possible and learning how to do that very well to be effective. And short scary story is more about like getting like a little snapshot of something, and then No Sleep is just fucking writing until your hands cramp, trying to get something. I always try to get something like beautiful out, and sometimes I fail, and sometimes I just have some sort of success. But what about you guys? Like, do you like any of these more than the others, or?
For me, my least favorite is No Sleep.
Yeah.
I don't like the constraints they have there, and it leads to like a loss of creativity. Instead of writers trying to, I don't know, think outside the box, they just following the same template, really.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's either you fall into one of the many pre-carved trends and find success, or you're lucky enough to start your own trend, or it gets removed, or it doesn't get seen. There's almost no in between. There's like one of 4 ways it can go, and it's a huge pain in the ass.
Simba in the chat saying that she went from short scary stories to 2 sentence to no sleep, which I feel like is a very weird transition. But she's saying that she thinks that no sleep is for more complex plots. I tend to agree with that. Like you can get a scene out in a short scary story. And she says SSS, she just goes wild. Being a mod helps that. But I mean, kind of to that point though, like do you guys like developing characters? Like what's your goal? Like what do you try to get out of horror when you're writing? How about this broad question? Why do you guys write horror? What about you, Kenichi? Why horror?
I don't know. You know, I started, I guess my journey started because I was listening to the No Sleep podcast.
Mhm.
And like I got so annoyed with how the stories ended. You know, a lot of them were just unresolved, or they just ended too quickly. So for a while I thought, oh, you know, I could just do this better myself. And
Yeah.
it took 3 years for me to gain the courage to do it, but that's why I started writing. But horror is not the only thing I want to stick with,
Yeah.
because even that gets a little boring sometimes.
I can see that. It's you know, I think that a lot of us branch out to some extent. Like, I mean, you throw in a lot of comedy in your stories, Kenichi. I know, Poland's you pull a lot of like emotional resonance in your stories, and some of it's very romantic in a way. Like you write a lot of like first love stories, kind of. But yeah, I feel that. So, Kenichi, do you think you're better than most of the No Sleep podcast writers? Like, you can say yes.
No,
Like,
they're
leave CK Walker out of it or whatever. She's not listening, but like, she knows she's better than all of us or whatever. But
there are some pretty good writers on there. And I'm not saying like overall. It's just like some stories are just boring. They don't they don't they're extremely slow paced. Not much going on. Too many twists or not enough.
I feel that.
Yeah, I can write better. I have written better, but I'm not perfect as well.
Do you feel like it would be better if you were just free reign doing your own thing instead of trying to adhere to the rules?
Yeah. Well, which is why I don't post really. I'd rather not try to hit the rules.
So I mean, like Papa Jesse, you were talking about posting things for narrations and stuff like that. Do you listen to narrations a lot, or do you just make do you just make fodder for them?
Yeah, more like just make them. I don't listen to it a lot, but I mean, no, I mean, it was really cool to hear a narration of your first couple stories, but then after that not as much. But I mean, as far as writing horror, I think a lot of us write it because that's what's popular on Reddit. That's what Reddit, requires. That's what it wants. I can't think of any other, sub of writing that is as popular as No Sleep or Short and Scary Stories. I think maybe if there was other genres of subs that were as popular, we would write different things. I'm trying to right now actually take over short and sad stories, for example, because I love writing. I think my sad stories are better than my horror stories. I just like that shit. But that's just me personally. But I think Reddit as a whole is for some reason definitely tailored towards horror, and that I think that has a big deal to do with it, honestly.
I mean, I know that I've heard a lot from sort of like the No Sleep old guard about getting onto Reddit years ago and it being a default sub, which probably had something to do with the popularity of horror on Reddit. Although, like, I don't know. I mean, do you guys know of an equivalent of like the creepypasta sort of online? Like, it's a genre that's sort of made for online in any other genre other than horror.
Not at all. Because I think, I don't know, like if you were writing fantasy, like the people that read fantasy, they want big ass books and they want to plow through them. So I mean, like, I don't think like fantasy would have any like place on the internet, because you'd get to the end of the 6,000 word document, you'd be like, well, where's the rest of the story? And it's like the same thing with like romance. Like romance is like kitted to be a good 300 page novel, and if you put a snippet of like romance on Reddit, it like you wouldn't even really be able to fully execute it, I don't think. But with horror and like 2-sentence horror and short scary stories, you can kind of incorporate a little bit of a twist or like a punchline at the end. I don't even know of any subreddits that are as popular as No Sleep or Short Scary Stories.
I don't think there is.
I think
I mean,
that stuff is just, it's meant for books and it's meant to be read, like ingested, like a lot.
I know there's writing prompts is, I guess, sort of a genre neutral subreddit that's as popular as No Sleep or around that. But I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever written for writing prompts. It's, if you're vain at all, it's a bullshit sub.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard.
I did one time, I think just once.
What'd you write about?
Oh, it was like so the prompt was you're a high school janitor and some supervillain has ruined your life and you have got them dead to rights where you want them. What's the story? And it was just kind of goofy. And I think I wrote about a story about like some ex-villain who saw the error of his ways and missed his kid's entire childhood and decided to work as the janitor of the high school as like a penance, his like holy pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And basically, that other villain like ruins that entire penance and then he makes him pay and kills him. So I think that was the only time I ever wrote for them. It was kind of a cool prompt I just happened to see. But other than that, I have not messed up whatsoever.
Did you relate to that gender in any way? Like as a father, and did you pull any of yourself into that story?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know. Well, maybe a little bit because, I kind of thought as a father, and then also, growing up, my dad was working all the time, so he wasn't around a whole lot. So I kind of pulled from both of those instances, but that's the only time I really have messed with that sub whatsoever. I did also look, have you guys seen that one HFY though? The like
Foxfire.
one? It seems like that sci-fi sub is pretty popular. I don't know. I thought about looking into that one as well, though.
I know.
haven't
I
messed
know
with it.
our own Jordan posts there somewhat frequently.
I have a question for Kenichi, and it's the same one I hit everyone else with. What is your favorite story that you have written, regardless of popularity or success, or what is like deep down, what's your favorite tale that you've made?
Tough question. I guess maybe with the Unbreakable Vow, the one where the guy is living his second life, and then his ex comes back.
Is that the one? I hope I'm not wrong. Is that the one where he scatters the pieces?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, I knew it. I love that story.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I did such a good job of kind of like misleading the reader, because especially the one that I posted on TCC, it starts off like real family oriented, and it just just gets darker and darker and darker, and I loved it.
Is that the one that it was a 2-sentence horror, then it was a short scary story, then it was a no sleep, or did it go from 2-sentence horror to no sleep?
No, the 2-sentence horror to SSS, and then no sleep, and then TCC.
That's awesome.
I got a question to ask about that. Just that process. Did you find that the longer writing wrote easier with the foundation of the 2-sentence horror and the short scary story?
Somewhat, because I did establish some. So like in the SSS, I didn't really go into the backstory. Obviously, not enough words. So I had to expand on it for the no sleep. So, I had the frame as far as the characters, at least some of them. And it did make it a little easier to go from there. I guess just framing it around the whole experience of, I spread her body pieces everywhere, and she's bad. You can just, it made it easier that way, but
yeah,
it was still a little difficult.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I don't know if the rest of you have done that, like expanded a story that you posted once already and gotten feedback on and sort of had a grounding for.
Never.
Never?
No.
What about you, Jesse Papa?
No, I was going to say the same thing. I've never expanded a story, but I've thought about it before. I just haven't.
I've done 2, and I don't know. There's, I feel like I don't know, Kenichi, if you're feeling the same way right now, but like coming from a place of starting stories right now and not finishing them, having like a roadmap of something that you've already written kind of feels like a safety blanket kind of. I don't know if you feel that same way at all, but like your plot's kind of propped up.
Not really, because when I start trying to write something longer from it, because I've done it a few times, but when I do start trying to write something from a shorter work, sometimes the plot just change in my head. Like I'll change, a backstory here or a backstory there, because I feel like it fits the new story better.
I got you. Well, sort of like a Reddit central question. All right. Did you have any commenters who stuck with you through all of the stories? I know that like Two Sentence Horror is just like fucking Wild West in terms of who the people are, but Short Scary Stories and No Sleep share some readers. And I'm wondering if you saw anyone in your comments that were like, yo, back for more.
Sad Mary Jane.
Yeah, that Mary
Yeah.
Jane.
And
She's
so
awesome.
it's so funny because a couple of months ago, I was just going through like everything I've written. And I went back to read my first story that I posted to SSS, and she commented on it. And like, that was so long ago, and it's like she left a positive comment. And I couldn't believe it, like, going back and reading that comment and seeing that she took the time to read it and comment something about it. And then just see her over the months read more and more, comment more and more. It's a good feeling. It makes you feel like you're doing something right. Like we shouldn't write for other people's approval. We should do it for ourselves. But it turns out that way. Like we can't help it.
Yeah. All right. So I guess just like a general question to the group. I know Pullins, you've been cranking out novels recently, not novels, but books recently and foisting them on Amazon and whatnot.
Trying to.
Papa Jesse, have you been putting out books? Because I don't.
No, I mean I am writing a novella like Pullins is, and but it's not done yet, not even close. So Pullins is definitely way faster at it than I am.
I've just been winging it this whole time, and my course of action has changed so many times so quickly it's not even funny. I had like an original path that I was going to take, and it's been derailed so many times just trying to get back to the original path, I guess.
So like, what do you think you'd be pumping out books right now if not for I've never asked you if you were writing if you had written books before you came to Reddit, but does the feedback help? Like I know it drives the shit out of me. Commenters, getting in the comments and saying whatever they have to say. But do you think that you would be as prolific as a published author if not for just the consistent feedback on Reddit, just bolstering you, I guess?
Having people upvote and comment and award is like, it definitely picks you up, and it kind of makes it feel like you're not wasting your time. Indie publishing books is much different because you go through you take all the steps and go through all the time to make sure it's edited and like everything's put together and the cover looks nice, and then you throw it out there and then nobody reads it. And then it's like, well, what now? But on Reddit, it's nice because there's people looking for, depending on what sub they go to, there's people looking for quick reads, and if they really like it, they'll let you know, and that's really cool.
I mean, what about you, Kenichi? Do you think that you would be? I know that you've crushed it in terms of Two Sentence Horror, and I know that Two Sentence Horror can be like a real wild card in terms of like what people say in the comments. Like people go on tangents and they go and talk about, let's have a discussion about Firefly for 45 lines. It has nothing to do with your story, but does it drive, like you've talked about it as like you're not getting as much out of it now, but like, were you back in the day?
Yeah,
Started-
I certainly was. I mean, especially from like I would post something, whether it was Two Cents Hard or short scary stories or No Sleep, and I would refresh Reddit to see any upvotes or comments because I liked corresponding with people, like
Mhm.
because I don't do it much outside of Reddit, so I enjoyed it, especially the positive comments. But now they're so, how should I say? Like you see the stories that are popular, they're not popular because of like really skill, they're just following a formula. So, for me, it just, because I don't want to stick to that formula, whether it's on, Two Cents Horror or No Sleep, or, even now to be at the top on SSS, it's like a mini No Sleep. Your story has to be. And
look at the top recently. It was it's lightning, I started on No Sleep, or as best as I know. That's what I remember lightning from when I started posting was No Sleep, not short scary stories. But I see that. I think your top. I was browsing through your top stuff earlier today. I was preparing for something, but I saw that your top. I think your top No Sleep was an AITA. I know it's like a sensitive topic and short scary stories, but I mean, like you're talking about like sticking to a formula. I mean, is that the kind of thing that you're talking about? Like having to do a popular gimmick, I guess, to get upvotes.
yes, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
I don't know. I wrote an AITA. Did you guys take part in this trend?
Oh,
No.
I
No,
couldn't.
Fucking hero.
Yeah.
I'm
I didn't
so
either.
so fucking stubborn. There's no way I ever would.
It was fun.
I lied to myself and I told myself that I wasn't writing one because my end question was, am I the Antichrist? And I was like, this is different, but it definitely wasn't. It's the same fucking thing. But I don't know. What story would you guys write if you could write anything and know that it would be popular? Like what genre? What's the tale you would tell?
Well, on Reddit, you mean?
It's popular in general. Like maybe it's a bestseller. I'm not saying like you get rich off of it or whatever, but like just like a story that makes a big dent.
Man.
So like you don't have the pressure of worrying about whether the story is going to be well received. You know it is. What do you write about?
Sci-fi horror.
Yeah. Why do you like that?
It's interesting. You
I see the stars behind you.
I actually started a sci-fi story that I was going to submit to, I think, Clark's World.
Mm-hmm.
Got like, I don't know, 1,000 words into it, started over, and then started over. So it's just sitting there. But it's going to be like Black Mirror, the episode with the tracking chip,
Okay.
but way worse.
What? So, like on the topic of sci-fi, do you think sci-fi is a like a snooty genre in terms of like what is expected of you as a writer compared to horror?
I feel like sci-fi, because so much has been established, people kind of, they want like elaborate, like fantasy, they want elaborate systems. They want, elaborate terminology. You can't just make stuff up, because if you do, they'll try to cross-reference it. Oh wait, that's not possible. Like sound doesn't travel faster than the speed of light. There's so much that's established in sci-fi. I feel like if you want to break into it, you have to, kind of stick along those lines, unless your idea is like way out there. And then you have to come up with, if you're creative stuff by yourself, then you have to create everything by yourself. Like entire worlds, cultures and stuff like that. Just like fantasy, horror, you could just jump in there and make stuff up. No one's going to question it because it's horror.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, I think for sci-fi, I went the other way, and I always do deep sea horror for like sci-fi, and I had to do like a shit ton of research on like what it actually meant to like, dive off the Mariana Trench or whatever the hell. So like, I get it. I think there's always going to be that expert guy that's going to be like, no, actually, your oxygen tanks would not last at that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
What about you, Polens? You ever written sci-fi?
I've always wanted to, but I feel like I don't know enough about it, and I would have to do a bunch of research. But sci-fi is like, it's like a perfect setting for horror, like with aliens or God, what else? Like Alive. It's just so cold and desolate out there, and there's just pretty much no hope from the start. I think that's my favorite part about it. I might do it someday, but definitely not anytime soon. Just much easier to not, I guess.
I think it'd be fun to do sci-fi from like an anachronistic perspective. Like, I don't know the name of the author. It's evading me right now, but the guy who did I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream.
Okay.
It was a sci-fi story about like sort of a rogue AI. But it was written, decades ago, and so like the technology referenced in the sci-fi is preposterous by today's standards. It just seems very old and clunky for having an AI that's the dominant monster in the story. Something about that speaks to me. Intentionally going back and writing shitty sci-fi. Tech-wise.
I forgot. I attempted sci-fi once. I forgot because it's been a while. One of my stories in my Cheap Thrills book is called Skylights, and it's about an alien abduction. I think Kenichi's read it, and you can tell I don't know shit about sci-fi because I wrote it in such a way that I didn't have to explain anything because none of it made sense. But I did enjoy it. I don't think it would hold up to like the H.R. Geiger, like Aliens and Prometheus and shit like that. But I did have fun making a bad situation in space. But like I said, I did it in such a way where I didn't do any research, and I made sure I didn't have to. But I forgot about that. It's been a while.
I mean, If you really go down and you look at the most popular sci-fi, commercially successful sci-fi that there is, probably Star Wars and Star Trek, the franchises. Both of those series don't give a shit about science.
Here we go.
No.
Here we go.
I mean, I feel like you can come up with whatever you want. Like, there's a point where sci-fi is fantasy.
What? Deco, what did you go off about? The Metachlorians or whatever, however you pronounce it?
Midi-chlorians.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb. I didn't think that you needed to explain it. Like, I think that like that this is. I think that if you have an established audience who likes the story that you proposed, and the story that you proposed is there are space wizards, that trying to explain this away with science is ridiculous.
I thought it was more like space, maybe samurai, perhaps.
I mean, yeah, they've got some samurai aspects to them.
Yeah, with the Buddhism and the lightsabers for sure.
I think they're all Ronin. The
Yeah.
Jedi are dead when the story is taking place. I mean, like the structure of them is gone. They don't have any daimyos left.
Yeah.
But I don't know what would you guys write? The two Jessies. If you could write anything and know that it was going to be, you didn't have to worry about success. It was just like you're writing a story and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to pay your bills for the next year. It's enough.
I'd probably still be doing the same shit I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I didn't have to worry about time, I'd probably dig up the bigger projects and just start chucking those out for peace of mind, but it'd still be horror. Most of it anyway.
I think I would do romance and adventure, maybe a mystery thrown in there for good.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I just returned to the chat and Simba has sent Avatar 2, as an Avatar also. And I think that's I'm being lazy in the chat because my internet window is lagging behind my Zoom window. But yeah. All right, so here's a question for the group on that line. Is Avatar horror?
Like
James Cameron's Avatar.
Like well, I mean, I
or Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Well, I think is Avatar kind of like echo of like what happened to the Native Americans in North America? Like, isn't that kind of like what it was?
That's how I read it, and I think that's the popular narrative.
Yeah, so I guess that technically would probably be horror, I would assume, for that group of people for sure.
Makes sense.
Last Airbender? Horror?
I haven't seen it.
Kenichi?
I wouldn't say so. That's a stretch.
All right, I have a game. I have a game that's based on Kenichi's work. And
the best.
I'm excited about this. The game is simple. And it is. I'm going to go around and read the first sentence of a number of Kenichi's 2-sentence horrors. All right. I'm going from top. All right. So a lot of these are about 5 months old. I'm looking at the first one, and it's let's see, 161 days. Okay. So I'm assuming that you don't know exactly the words. The game is try to guess what the second sentence is going to be based on the first sentence.
Let's go.
All right.
Boom.
I'll start. I'm not going to start with you, Kenichi, because this is your most popular post, and I'm assuming that that you might know it. I'm gonna wait until last.
Okay.
But Desi Papa, the first sentence is, "Daddy, why is mommy always so mean to me?" My son asks, his tear-stained face wrought with sadness and fear. What's the second sentence?
Gosh. I would say because
I can read it to you again if you want.
Well, why is she so mean to me? I would say because she's not your real mother.
Hmm.
She's actually my second wife. I don't know. What is
Do you
that?
remember this one, Kenichi?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you want to give him a hint?
No.
Damn, because
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
yeah, I've seen Game of Thrones.
Okay. This is a very Lannister plot,
Ooh, incest.
but not incest.
Oh, damn. So she's was killed by the kid.
Oh,
Boom.
that's
Yeah,
not a
because-
sentence, but that's
Because the imp like was so hated by his siblings and father because he killed their mother.
yeah.
Yes.
The second sentence was, deciding that it's finally time to tell him the truth. I say she's upset. She's upset that you survived childhood and she didn't.
Ooh,
Childhood for the story.
Oh, fuck.
That's a
I
good
remember
one.
that.
Yeah.
brutal. That's
That was a
brutal.
really good one.
Brutal, Kenichi. Brutal.
I'm just thinking of this, of this poor fucking kid being haunted by this mom.
So
With all these hopes and dreams. She's like, I had 3 more months of my Pilates class that I had. This fucking kid killed me.
Ruined it. Oh man.
Okay. Poems.
Yeah.
I gave my daughter my childhood doll last night to protect her from the monster in her closet. That's the first sentence.
Oh shit. I know I've read this one too, because I've read almost all of Kenichi's 2-sentence horrors. But I can't remember. Okay, can I get the first sentence one more time?
I gave my daughter my childhood doll last night to protect her from the monster in her closet.
With it coming from Kenichi, I would think the childhood doll is a voodoo doll, and it's actually a curse, and it's malicious. I might be wrong though.
That's a good lean.
Wrong.
No, it's like that's like in the family of correct. Do you remember this?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna keep asking you if you're because if you ask me, the answer would be absolutely not. I remember 3 or so of my 2-sentence horrors. Yeah. So I've got a lot of questions about this one, but the second sentence is, you can imagine my shock and horror when I opened the bedroom door this morning and saw a dismembered man splayed out on the floor and my doll sitting next to him covered in blood.
Oh shit.
Oh damn. I think I remember this one.
That's right.
That's gruesome. I like the this has such a mystery to it. Not because of the doll, but because of the man. Where the fuck? Where did he come from?
I don't know. For the closet, I guess. Uh,
Wait. Was the note? Wait, sorry. This is getting like inside baseball with Kenichi's head and writing these stories. But was your notion that there was a man who was like, who was watching this child from the closet?
no, it was just that the real monsters are humans.
Yeah,
Okay. I like it.
which is true.
Okay, this one's for Kenichi. And this is gonna be tough because I'm not gonna ask you to guess the next sentence. I'm gonna ask you to rewrite it. Hold can I have a genre that's not horror?
Romance.
Dope. We've received several complaints about your performance and have decided to terminate your employment with us. What's the romance sentence that follows it?
Oh, is this for me?
No, this is for Kenichi.
Oh, okay. I was like,
okay.
oh no, I played myself.
Give me a moment. Several women have complained about you trying to give them a dirty Sanchez.
Whoa.
This is a dark romance.
Hey, wait. Hey, Kenichi, is this the one where you kind of explained the horror of American healthcare?
Yes.
Basically how expensive it was. Yeah, I really loved that one because it is absolutely insane how much money we have to pay to go to the hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a quick story about that. So I had to take my son to the allergist, and I made an appointment with the system that I go to, because I trust them and whatever. And on the day of the appointment, we're on a train, and I'm checking to pay whatever the copay is because I could do it from the app. And I look at the breakdown of the bill, and I see that it's like 18 grand. Say, what? Why the hell is this so much? And so I called to find out, and they have a message saying that the allergist is in a hospital, so the bill comes from both the hospital and the allergist. So I canceled the appointment. Like, it shouldn't cost that much to go see an allergist, whether they're in a hospital or not.
No, that's absolutely outrageous.
And the insurance was the only thing I had to pay was $100. So they say it was an estimate. But I didn't want to take that chance to get a bill for like 2-3 grand, or have the insurance deny it because they say, oh, well, why are you going to an allergist in the hospital?
Yeah. So I'll never forget my third kid, right? The doctor comes in to talk about some BS, nothing, breastfeeding maybe. And she was only there for like 10 minutes. And, it's our third kid. So it's like, yeah, we know what we're doing. Please go away. And I look at the bill later and I see that same doctor is on there. And it's like a 3-hour block, $1,200. And it's like, she talked to us for 10 minutes and you're charging me for 3 hours at $1,200. Like, that's outrageous and insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, when I had one of my back surgeries, I was looking at the itemized bill, and I was charged. It was over like $250 for nicotine withdrawal counseling. And the surgeon was like, maybe lay off the cigarettes, and that was it. It was like 3 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's broken.
I feel like all the numbers are there's just someone typing at a keyboard, just putting in whatever feels right, and then they send it to you.
Oh yeah.
So like, if you guys were writing dystopian sci-fi horror in 1940 or 30 or something like that, Do you think that you would have ever come up with a healthcare system this fucked up?
No, not even.
No.
I mean, I don't know what healthcare was like in the 30s. I'm sure it was probably like, wow, your leg's fucked up. Here's a gun. Go home and say bye to your family or whatever. But
No, it's crazy, man.
what about like, I mean, this story is, you know, it sort of highlights a problem with our society, which I think that's kind of one of the purposes of horror in a way. It's like one of the time-honored traditions of horror that I think is minimized by the notion that horror is like this sort of frivolous genre. But what place do you guys think that horror has in I guess highlighting the fucked up parts of this world? Like what kinds of stories would you guys write to? What do you have any stories in mind that would illuminate something that's wrong with society?
I mean, that we've written personally or that exists.
Yeah, either one, or that you have in your head that you'd like to write.
Well, I've written a few already. The Unnecessary Sacrifice. The one that was
Yeah.
I've written about religion a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I think horror can be a good vehicle to, you know, express yourself and, you know, also, you know, bring attention to certain things. But at least my approach is to do it more like artfully, not so much on the nose.
I feel that. What about you, Pullins?
I haven't. Well, I guess I wrote like a short, scary story. It's kind of like that, just about being overworked. But I think if I were to do a horror story, it would probably be from a corporation or a politician's point of view. And it would just be hundreds and hundreds of people that have like nothing, like no money, or like their kids are sick. And then they're like, oh, well, you can't pay, just over here to the meat grinder. And they would just be a meat grinder right next to them. And they just feed them to it. And it would just be okay because it's pretty much where we're heading. But just very no hope, like very out of your control would be pretty good for horror, I think.
Yeah.
And something as drastic as putting them into an actual meat grinder in front of the people in line doesn't sound too far off.
Yeah. What about you, Papa?
Well, as far as that goes, I mean, I did write a story about an office worker for the Sprite company where a giant insect would suck out part of your brain to produce Sprite. And I mean, that's just kind of honestly working at a desk. That's kind of what it feels like, that someone is just like hooking up like this proboscis like to the back of your head and sucking out your mental capabilities to produce a profit. And that's what it really does kind of feel like, to work at a desk for someone to make them rich and you a capable wage to survive, I guess.
You also wrote that hot dog story.
Hot dog or the taco one? The pork tacos? Which one are you talking about?
Oh yeah, maybe it was that. When
I
the
remember
guy had
that
the
one.
cart.
Which one?
When the guy had the cart and he ran over somebody.
Oh, yeah. The pork tacos. He had the food truck and he ran over a motorcycle cop, and then decided to cover his crime accident really with you know, it's kind of like a homage to fried green tomatoes, like cook the guy up and sell them as pork tacos.
Well, there was a line in that story also about the reason why he did it, because he felt that, you know, even if he went to the cops and said it was an accident, you know, there was no hope for him. So like, okay, whatever, you know.
Might as
Yeah.
well fry him up. Might as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure. I think in that instance, yeah, he had said that you know, in that story, he had said that he wasn't white, so it was not it's not like he would get away with it. So that's what he ended up covering up with. So it is, and I think we all kind of do that. We all kind of take in like the real horror of reality and the world and kind of twist that into our stories. And that's what makes, you know, the I think that's where we get obviously our highest upvotes, because it's real horror. It's like, that's real. That's what's currently happening, but twisted into a story.
Simba on her end is talking about free speech and blindly following rules being common in her works, which I guess raises an interesting, I guess, cross-cultural facet of kind of political horror. Do you guys think, I mean, because we're writing on Reddit, which is, it's primarily an American platform, or like at least an English speaking platform. I think that the numbers show that a lot of users are in America or Europe. Our stories that we, I mean, all four of us are American, are stories that we write about class differences and whatnot. Do you think that those are universal enough to play out? I mean, to influence people in the way that you're trying to with your story? I know it's sort of a long question. But is our horror everybody's horror? I guess is the TLDR.
Some aspects of it, you know, like the healthcare story definitely isn't everyone's horror, because, you know, in other countries you have, you know, universal healthcare, or just a, you know, easier means to access healthcare. So at least when I write, I focus it on like what I'll see in the news, or, well, I don't watch the news, but like what I see in the news subreddits, or, you know, politics, or, you know, if I open up the Edge browser, is always something there, like something bad's always happening. So I don't think about you know, the rest of the world. It's just I write about what I like experience.
Yeah. All right.
But it's a now I feel like I have to write something. You know?
That was the plan all along.
Yeah.
I know I'm asking a lot of like broad questions of the group. So here's another one. we're writing for Reddit, and we're writing for an audience of, largely strangers. And I think it's naive to think that we're going to change anything substantial with one of our works of horrors on Reddit. But is there value in our horror to making people feel heard or understood? Do you guys think? And how much thought do you guys put into trying to come up with something that's like relatable for people and like real, I guess, in terms of like a scenario or dilemma in your horror, if you're writing political horror or like social horror? So I'll start. I mean, I think.
Thank you, Deco.
I think that that we're at a point in time right now where people are less and less attached to one another, and we're more and more thrown into this kind of listen to what's being fed to you on the news and just believe or toe your hitch to whatever's being said. Like, I'm not politicizing this. It's like whatever it is, whether it's NPR or Fox News, it doesn't really matter. There's always like a line that you're connecting to. But a 5-second soundbite doesn't have characters that you feel for, like stories do. And so I know like the most that I've ever heard from commenters on my stories was that like they had a shitty dad who beat them or something like that, and it's nice to see a kid being strong, or like a dad getting his comeuppance, or a mom getting her comeuppance for being emotionally abusive or something like that. And there's like some sort of resonance there with a reader. But do you guys feel that connection to people? And do you try to write to that ever?
Kind of. I try to make, when I do my stuff, I try to make it real enough to where it doesn't seem so fake, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I try to make the scenarios feel real. That way, well, on No Sleep, it's from like first person perspective, which first person is not my first choice. It just is right now. But it's just about trying to like put them as much in their shoes as possible. But I think I said it when I was on last time, like real enough to be believable, but not too much to where it's too much. I don't know. Like just enough. That way it feels real, I guess. If that's a good explanation, probably not. But that's what I shoot for.
Well, do you? I know that I asked one question, but do any of you ever, intentionally try to just really fuck with your reader? I know
No.
Sugar Soda used to do this all the time, but like, I'm thinking of like Tommy Taffy, where it's like the opposite of helping people. It's just like destroying people.
Oh my
with
God.
words.
Like,
I've never intentionally, that's never been the intention. I haven't like tried to maliciously make like hurt people on the inside,
so
which is exactly what Tommy Taffy does.
so like so I'll admit that I have anxiety and OCD problems a little bit, and I've written several OCD stories for Short and Scary Stories, and I mean, I've had them end with like, the worst result absolutely possible, where like they've killed themselves or someone has died that they love, and that is more like the worst absolutely possible scenario of the illness. And I've definitely written that, but it's not really to sabotage the reader. It's more like cathartic to actually put out like the worst case thought in my brain because of those issues. So I don't know if that actually relates to what you're talking about, but that's kind of what I've done.
I can feel that. Like, that to me kind of feels like maybe if you put it out there as a writer, that someone reads it, in terms of like the helpfulness of a story, someone reads it and they get to just read it and not have that be a part of their life for that moment, and live in a fictionalized world, as because fiction feels safe, I guess, in a way. That there's not some Ken doll person trying to rape your mom or whatever in real life when you're reading a story. Sorry, spoilers, but
It's awful.
Uh,
I actually just finished The Black Farm by Elias Withrow, and it's my first. Well, I've read Tommy Taffy online, but The Black Farm, me and Kenichi talked about extreme horror months ago. Kenichi was getting into it, and I had never really read one, and I didn't realize The Black Farm was an extreme horror. That's some serious shit, man. Like it makes all my stuff look so soft. And because you were like, no, man, it's extreme horror, and I was like, I don't know, I don't know what it is, and you were sending me examples, and you're like, it's really bad, and I was like, well, a lot of stuff can be really bad, and then I read that book, and it's really bad. So I'll probably read the sequel, but I also have the novelization of Tommy Taffy sitting on my end table, and I probably won't read that just because. Oh, I just get the chills looking at it. Have you ever thought of writing an extreme horror, Kenichi?
I have, and I started a story, but got maybe like 900 words into it. I will probably write one.
Okay.
I could easily convert the Serial Killers Anonymous story into extreme horror.
Okay, yeah.
Because that teetered on the edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you consider extreme horror? Because this is a definition that I don't have rattling around in my brain.
So I guess what makes it extreme is the descriptions and the situations. Like nothing is off the table. For example, I won't name the book, so it won't be technically a spoiler, but I read this one scene where this lady was pregnant and they cut the baby out of her, like while she's alive, and then they ripped it in half like a wishbone.
Oh, fuck.
So
Sorry,
that's
trigger
extreme.
warning to anyone who's listening.
Sorry. That's extreme.
I don't know. I guess to me, like having only read one extreme horror book, and like I said, I'll probably read the second one, and then after that, I'm good because I'm a big sissy. But it's like, I don't know, like you read a horror story, and like there's a lot of plot, and like there's something lingering. There's going to be a twist or a big reveal. Extreme horror just does a really good job at just rubbing your nose in it, and like that's just one scene after another. Like not like in a snobby way, but it's like you have to buckle up and sit through it because like it's like one thing after another. Like the punches just keep coming, at least to me.
Yeah.
I read a few books extreme horror books, and they're not all equal because some authors actually put the time into develop a story and a plot, and have a relevant twist and stuff. Whereas others, it's all about just being gross, and that takes away from it.
Okay, so I'm not saying that the Black Farm was bad because I actually did thoroughly enjoy it. I'm a big fan of like Silent Hill and shit like that. But when you play Silent Hill, they're not telling you about the squelching sounds and like how much the barbed wire hurt. So you have read some extreme horror books that like maybe the extreme was short and sweet. Like maybe there was more to it.
No, the extreme was bad,
Oh,
but
okay.
the story was a great story.
I feel like I should step in for a second here and say to anyone listening who doesn't know, The Black Farm and Tommy Taffy, Third Parent, whatever, are both stories by Elias Witherow, who's an author on Reddit. Anyone who's clueless about what's being talked about, but
Both very good. I have some questions for Kenichi before we go that have nothing to do with writing or horror, if you want them.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so I've been talking to Kenichi for about a year. Has it been longer than that? Something like that. I'm on and off. I'm a huge fan of his work. I've read a lot of his stories. I've beta read for him, blah, blah, blah. And I've asked him before what his favorite anime is. We talk about anime on and off as well. What is your current favorite? I got 3 questions, but they're all pretty basic. What's your favorite anime right now, Kenichi?
I haven't really been watching. The last thing I watched was Bastard, and I haven't finished they did a remake on Netflix.
Okay.
So
I saw that.
I'm a couple of episodes into the first season. And they just came out with a second one. But I've been reading a lot of manga.
Do you have a favorite of all time, anime or manga? It doesn't matter.
I don't know, maybe Bleach. I mean, Bleach is pretty up there.
Bleach is pretty sick. I love Bleach.
Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh shit, I forgot. Do you mind explaining where your username came from?
Right.
For those who don't know.
I've been thinking about this too. So this username I actually came up with several years ago as an alt Xbox Live account when I used to play Call of Duty a lot, and I cared too much about kill death ratio, so I created an account just to play hardcore.
Oh, okay, I get it.
But when I created the Reddit account, I thought about it, and Kenichi is from the Earth Mice Disciple.
Yeah.
And while I don't remember too much about the anime, I do remember that he basically like had no skill. Like he wasn't a martial artist. He was, I guess, weak. And throughout the course, he really built himself up. He trained hard and he became the strongest. So it's like it reminded myself to keep trying hard.
That's pretty sick. Oh yeah, I had one more question. Who would you say is the strongest anime protagonist? Or your favorite? It could be either or. There's quite a bit.
The strongest, Saitama.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. One Punch Man.
Yeah. Hands down the strongest.
Yes.
I'm also a huge fan of One Punch Man. Deco, if you haven't watched that, watch that shit. I know you probably don't watch much anime, but
I've gone through phases up and down. I ran an anime D&D campaign based on tropes.
One Punch is easy for anyone to get into and stay into it. And then it's all gone and you have nothing left to watch.
Well, I think Kenichi's wrong in that the most powerful character is Ein from Cowboy Bebop. Dog.
I had to think for a second. I actually still haven't finished Cowboy Bebop. It's only like, yeah, it's really good, and it's only like 25 episodes, I think. But me and my wife only put it on and watch it. Like, we'll watch 3 episodes, and then we'll put it down for like a year for no real reason.
Number 5. For some reason, anime loves to fuck you up with the 5th episode. I feel like in the original run of Full Metal Alchemist, that was the Nina episode. Number 5.
Did you watch Brotherhood also?
I did, and I thought it was better. I know that's the popular opinion, but
I think that was the point of Brotherhood, wasn't it? To try again.
Yeah,
Sure.
to base it more on the manga.
although I did, I'm going to try not to spoil anything. The ending to the original Full Metal Alchemist, like the 2-episode arc at the end, was just like, I loved how fucking bananas it was. It just like left the plot altogether and went off the rails, but I like that. Give me chaos.
Well, you can't forget Yujiro Hanma. Just throwing that out there. From Baki. Somebody knows that.
I don't know.
The father.
Yeah, the dad.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that does a front flip and puts the cigarette out?
Probably.
It sounds like a character.
I did start. Well, I started the Netflix Baki, but I had to stop just because I don't know. It wasn't for me. But I do remember the front flip cigarette though. That was pretty sweet. Kenichi, did you watch Cyberpunk?
I did not. I haven't.
Oh,
Yeah, I did
man.
not. I'm behind on a lot of stuff.
I thought it was a game.
It is a game.
They did an anime probably to lure you back to the game, and they did a pretty damn good job because that anime is awesome.
And the like the player count on Steam went up like after release exponentially.
Which makes sense because after I finished the anime and I haven't played Cyberpunk and I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. The bastards. It's a plan all along.
Yeah, I just want to let people know that we've got 3 people watching right now. There were 2. One person came back for the anime. So,
Well, those are all my questions. Thank you, Kenichi.
Thank you. So Jesse Papa, you were saying that Hellraiser was like one of your favorite franchises.
I think that was Pullins.
No, that was me.
Yeah.
You both love Hellraiser?
Dude, the first one I think changed my life. I think that's what I was talking about.
I still haven't watched. I'm aware peripherally. Go on. Sorry.
No. So I was telling him that I had just finished reading Hellbound Heart. And I was so confused in one of the scenes because Frank was his name from the movie. He was trying to assault one of the female characters. And it was in a sexual way. So when I've seen the movie beforehand and they're related, but the book came out before and they actually changed like some aspects of it. So as I'm reading it, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is like way over the top.
Yeah, I don't I mean, I don't know. I think I said I haven't read any of the books, which is pretty sad. But I remember watching that first movie, and when I was young, because I know that movie came out quite a while ago, and I was like, holy crap, between like the flaying of the skin with the hooks and actually the Cenobites, appearing, and the actual hell dimension and everything like that. Like, it was absolutely insane. And I just remember watching that, as a kid, and that leaving like a big impression on me in the genre of horror versus anything else. But I'm not sure, I haven't read any of the stories as far as that goes, but I mean, I should, because I'm a big fan of especially the very first movie. But and I'm excited to watch the newest one coming out pretty soon here in like a week on Hulu. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'll have to tell me more about that because I haven't read that.
It's a quick read. It's like 40 pages, something like that. So it's very short.
So, Papa, you you made me think of something that I've never really thought about. We're all fairly successful, I guess, numerically on Reddit at writing horror. And I'm wondering how fucked up our childhoods were in terms of like our exposure to horror at a young age. Because my parents were very lax and like let me watch horror when I was like 7 or 8. Hi, Mom. And I mean, were you guys the same? I'm wondering if this is like a recipe for horror success on Reddit.
It might be, because I remember being like terrified as a kid of Chucky, like for Child's Play, because I think I watched that movie when I was like, I don't know, 7 years old, 6 years old.
Yeah.
So my parents were the same way, and I was like totally freaked out. I mean, obviously you watch that movie now as an adult and you're like, why wouldn't you just kick the shit out of that little doll, or like run over it or set it on fire or something, like it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But when you're 6 years old, it's terrifying.
You're surrounded by dolls.
Yeah, terrified.
Yeah. What about you, Kenichi and Mullins?
I didn't watch much horror growing up. Ernest Scared Stupid scared me. Like, it gave me nightmares for, I don't know, like 2 weeks or something like that. So what I write now is just, my twisted imagination.
You read Goosebumps as a kid?
No.
I did.
What did you learn from Mr. Stein? Nothing.
No, that man is really good at what he does, and he has written hundreds of books. Maybe if I could keep it shorter and sweeter and take less time on the scene itself, maybe.
I've fucking loved those choose your own adventure ones.
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
I don't know if you guys remember those.
I
Oh
do.
yeah. Oh yeah.
They were sparkly. Some of them were.
I just remember all the books having the not embossed, but I guess raised covers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an indelible part of my childhood. Like, it's a very tactile thing to have on a book. But what about you, Pullins? Your parents let you watch horror as a child?
My mom let me have direct exposure to horror films within reason, I guess. There was a couple films that were on like a no-no list that I couldn't watch, and then even if I could have, I probably wouldn't have, because the covers scared the shit out of me. But like, I grew up watching like Halloween and being a huge fanboy every time the movies came out, and then I'd have nightmares, and like I'd watch a bunch of the Friday the 13th and be all hyped up about them, have nightmares. I think aside from, I watched Hell House LLC recently, and that one gave me nightmares like last week, just the concept of it. But I've always been very hyped with horror films, and
Mhm.
excited about them even if I haven't seen them. Like, just a huge fan all around, I guess.
All right, there's some questions in the chat. Daria and Simba have been chatting here. Daria says, for everyone, tell us about the most despicable character you've ever written. What, who inspired you to write them? The most despicable, disgusting.
I got one. Go ahead.
No,
No,
you.
you, Jesse, you go.
No, well, I was just gonna say that short and scary stories pinned on my profile. My wife found God one. Just kind of, she was very cold, even though she was very religious, and ended up burying and killing her husband, burying him alive because the church had assigned her a new husband of a believer. That kind of came from growing up in like a conservative household. And that's kind of where that came from. And I'd say that was probably for me like the creepiest, like real horror of somewhere from a real place for me personally.
Next.
I think my most intentionally despicable, not grotesque, because I've done quite a bit of just grotesque things. My most despicable character would have to be the older car salesman in my No Sleep Story car salesman. He's just a very stereotypical, rude, pig kind of guy, but he's written to be that. Pretty much everything about him, like he's rude and he's very crass. I guess not that despicable. I guess I don't write that many despicable characters. Just, I don't know. I say lead more towards like the walls of meat and tentacles and shit like that as soon as possible.
Yeah. What about you, Kenichi? Who's your granddad of disgust?
I haven't written like someone to be like intentionally bad, or because I feel like with horror, there's enough violence in the world already. So if like there always has to be a reason why someone's like that in the story. So there isn't anybody that is like just totally messed up and despicable. But actually the cops from Please Come Back, Miranda.
Oh, okay.
I guess because they're willing to do whatever to obtain a confession.
That sounds so fictitious.
Right.
Would never happen.
But I think my most despicable character was a principal in a story called Bright Boy, which was about a boy who could make people start hurting themselves until he said stop, by saying a word that only he knew. So he was my hero, but the principal was a child molester. I got away with this on Short Scary Stories because Gravy wasn't paying attention.
Not for long.
I've told him. I told him straight up in Discord. I said, I've got 3 or 4 stories out there where the subject is rape and you haven't. But the principal was a child molester, and he was trying to pin an attempted murder of Bright Boy, the protagonist, on a bully, and he got his comeuppance. It was a very graphic scene. But yeah, he was my most despicable, because like just to think of like someone trying to like fuck with a kid and then trying to get that kid to kill another, I don't know, it's just like, it's gross.
Sounds pretty sick.
Yeah. All right, let's see. There's more chat here. There's some dope conversation between Simba and Daria. Daria said, "Wow, Jesse, that story sounds amazing." I don't know which Jesse. Again, I've been lax on this chat.
Slack.
My Zoom is
I'll
yeah.
get Ryan back in here.
I think it's Jordan who does it. He's Canadian. He's polite. You know, he does it out of the
Right.
goodness of his heart. Oh, she said Papa. Not you, Poland. Your
That's
your
fine.
character was trash. Absolutely.
It's trash. It's all trash.
Okay. These aren't questions, but I love to see the camaraderie here in the chat. I need to get someone else on this. I'm terrible at fucking reading while I'm writing. Simba did not start watching horror young.
Well, like
Who's
horror
surprised
movies.
by that?
Well, Simba says she doesn't really watch like shows or movies. She told me anyway.
Let's talk about our secret conversations with Simba. No, I'm kidding. All right. I've got another really stupid game that I played earlier today, and it didn't go well. But this game was started in one of these Discord chats leading up to this. We're talking about Highlander. I might have been talking to you, Papa Jesse. But if you could kill any character or celebrity, any person, character, animal, I don't know, and take their power, all right, just an aspect, a facet of their personality, of their ability, who would it be and what power would you take? All right, I'll give an example, and let's take this in a round until someone gets booed. All right, because I like criticism. My person is a celebrity, and it's Timothy Olyphant, and I'm taking his power to simmer. You know, he's got a good simmer that I
love that guy.
I'm jealous of. You know,
You watched Justified?
yeah,
Awesome.
he was fucking killer in the Star Wars, whatever the fuck it was, Book of Boba Fett,
Mandalorian. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, you're right.
and go from the 90s or something. It's about ecstasy. He was an ecstasy dealer. Katie Holmes,
Nice.
whatever. Yeah, so Timothy Olyphant, I'm killing him. I'm depriving all of you of him.
Oh man.
And I'm taking his simmer.
That's gonna take one of my biggest quotes in life. Is the juice worth the squeeze on the girl next door?
I mean, in this case, yeah.
Sure.
He's aging. He's got some good roles in him left, I'm sure, but I get that simmer.
The simmer.
I didn't hear a boo. All right.
Who
wants to go next? Jesse Papa. Who are you killing?
I think I'll take, honestly, and you know, I don't know how much you'll agree with this, but I think I'll take Jared Leto because one, he is beautiful. Two, he can sing like an angel. And three, I mean, he's pretty good, not like amazing in each role he plays, but pretty good. And then he also has a pretty popular rock band, 30 Seconds to Mars. So it's like I can double dip. I can be an actor and I can be a lead singer of a rock band. And then bam, there it is.
So you're taking his 13-inch cock that enables him to do all this stuff.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, Morbius in the band is a bonus then.
I'm not doing that. What about you? What about you, Kenichi? Who are you killing? And you've got to, sorry, I didn't specify this. It's got to be in single combat with a sword.
Oh,
With the sword.
With the sword in a parking garage.
Mm, you can come back to me. I need to think about it.
All right, pull-ins. Who are you killing? Who's power? What power are you taking?
I think I would kill Ray Stevenson from Kill the Irishman and steal his ability to wear a mustache. Steal his mustache power.
You want strong mustache ability.
Yeah, like a mustache like you got. Like solid all the way across. You know? Have you seen Kill the Irishman?
I don't think so. I think I know Ray Stevenson though. I can picture it.
I think he only did the mustache once. And if not that, I think I'd kill owls and take their ability to turn their head 320 degrees or whatever it is. It's something stupid,
Oh, that's amazing.
but that would be really cool to do in real life for no real reason, I guess.
Yeah, just like at the supermarket or something.
Yeah.
Just how fun would it be if I could just do that? All right, Kenichi, I don't know if you've gotten one
Yeah,
yet.
I got one.
Oh, you
Idris
got
Elba.
one. You said Jessica Alba?
Idris Elba.
No, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, and take his swagger.
I like
He's a
that.
stud.
Although he I don't know if you guys have heard he did some commercial for alcohol or something like that. I don't know. He let his true voice out for the first time that I've ever heard. And it is funny.
You said it's funny.
He's not Luther, not in real life. He doesn't sound as smooth as you would want him to be. And so never listen to him talk as a person, if you can help it. Just keep him as a character. Like in Prometheus, beautiful. Idris Elba is always beautiful, except for in this commercial. And he would have taken that to Bond. Bond's a cursed role. How do you guys feel about cursed roles? Now, Joker. Did Heath Ledger kill himself because of the role of Joker? Daria, Simba, Owens, Kenichi.
I don't know. I don't
know,
too
man.
much around like his death.
Who's Heath Ledger? All right. So none of us got booed. We all win. And we all get powers.
We're all
What are you
winners.
going to do with it?
I'm gonna look at people at the supermarket
Yo,
with my mustache.
I fucking love it.
Yes.
What about you, Papa? What are you going to do with your newfound power?
I'm gonna immediately start a band out of my garage. Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna do first.
I think SoundCloud is the way to go now, right? That's the new garage.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, it would definitely start in the garage with a lot of beer and then progress to SoundCloud.
All right. Kenichi, what do you do with Idris Elba's swagger?
Anything I want. there's a skit that he's in where he's like just doing all these jobs like a doctor, construction, whatever, and he has no idea what he's doing, but he just like so confident that he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
I think I've seen that. I think you sent me that actually. He's like the waiter and then the cook.
Yeah.
just one after another. It doesn't make any sense.
What? The dude stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. That's a joke for America.
Yeah, I mean, he is the man. I won't lie.
Yeah. Who's the sexiest dude? This isn't a hard
Idris Elba
question.
was elected and voted as the sexiest man alive for 1 year. I don't remember. That was recent, the last few years.
Cool. I love it. Poland's agreed.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Sexiest dude, Idris Elba.
I was gonna go with Timothy Olyphant,
Toss up.
although I would pick today Timothy Olyphant. My wife would pick Scream 2 Timothy Olyphant. But Idris Elba can just as easily play Timothy Olyphant because he can do all the jobs.
All the
Yeah.
jobs.
I mean, I saw Dark Tower. He's a good cowboy. But all right. I think that's it. Unless any of you have anything else to any questions or anything like that. Let me see about the chat. Simba said you called. Simba, we were just asking you who you would kill and take their power. That's all. You can tell us tomorrow. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I've loved this. I wouldn't want to do this every day.
You said wouldn't?
No,
Me neither.
I can't wait until Travis is back here to take up the load and I can just make fun of him.
Well, I don't know. I think it was fun once we got past the echo issues in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's going to be one of those funny things that people look back on. No, this isn't recorded. I couldn't figure that out. Oops. But
Oh, this one's not recorded?
did you get the message?
I did.
Oh,
I got the message that we went live. I can't remember.
cool. Well, it's recorded right, isn't it? Anyway, I've had fun. Kenichi, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for the invite. And I'm glad it feels good knowing that you guys like my stories.
Hell yeah, man.
Everybody
They're
likes your
awesome.
stories, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, I will say Kenichi's like, the main reason that I met most of you guys, because I was talking to Travis before, but Kenichi's the one that invited me to the Discord in the first place. So I appreciate that. That's how I met most of everybody.
Oh no
You're
shit.
talking about TSC,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
OG Discord.
Right. Before it got really huge and then super quiet, I got invited. So by Kenichi.
That's pretty sick.
I was looking back through old comments, and I made fun of you for your avatar at one point, Kenichi. I don't remember what story it was, but I said that it looked like Woodsy the Owl had like an abortion that took or something like that. It survived. And then wore a flower on its head from Pottery Barn. Deep cuts. Anyway. Guys, it's been really fun. I wish that I knew how to turn this live off, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me for a second. Any parting remarks?
Kenichi, look forward to whatever you got going on, man, in the future. Or, if you're gonna keep writing. you mentioned a terrible way to phrase that. You mentioned that you wanted to adapt one of your short, scary stories from a no sleep into an actual novella or something like that.
Yeah, the with the body parts spread out. That story.
Yeah. I love that
Oh.
story.
Eventually, I'll do it. You know,
Well,
either that or make it part of like a collection with 3 other stories.
Hmm.
You know, get it up to like maybe 20 pages.
Look forward to it, man.
and shit, I forgot. Departure from form, I suppose. But any plugs? Anybody plugging anything? Hold on, I know you got shit to plug.
Yeah. I wrote Cheat Thrills Volume 1 and Undulating Flesh and the Paper Mache Man, which is free on every platform. That's all I
Those
got.
sexy covers.
Sexy.
I got one coming soon, man. Like if I can stop procrastinating.
What about you, Papa? Anything to plug?
Not yet, man. Not really. Hopefully to be published like pull-ins maybe by the end of the year. So
Wait on that romance.
yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Thanks, man.
Kenichi, anything to plug? Anything of
No.
yours or anyone else's?
Your subreddit.
Yeah. What's your subreddit? Where can people find you?
Kenichi's Twisted Tales.
Love it. My only
Lots
thing
of
to
good
plug
shit
is
there.
a Hitachi magic wand.
Oh boy. The Cadillac of vibrators.
It's a personal massager.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, on that, I'm going to try to end this. Let's see. Nope. All right, we're live forever. Let's see. I'm terrible. God, fuck. To whoever's watching, we're about to leave. Just go away.
Please
So
go.
we're just chatting. This is a plea. Don't watch us. Don't watch. Don't watch this happen. Don't watch this flounder. Fuck, there's no way to end.
Can
you
you
just-
right?
We're
Can you
live
right click
forever.
the live thing?
Maybe if I just close that. No, there we go. I'll get it. No.
Did you exit?